What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge.
And as always, joining me at the table is Women Carry Knives, who's brought her unique style to my intro. I actually like it better than when I do it because I'm sort of sick of hearing myself do it. She's been nice enough to join us at the table today. We have something kind of special. Now, before we go too far, I want to say the following. This is a ridiculously expensive knife. It is. Before taxes and whatever else you'd have to pay, it is $595.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's nuts. It's particularly crazy when you realize that its little brother here is only $425. I don't know why this isn't just an even $5 or $550, but $595 is where the folks at Hinderer have decided it lands, and that's the way it goes. And I'll tell you something, looking back to this in a minute, I'm actually okay with it. Because it's really a superior and superb pocket knife. Now, this one actually belongs to someone else. Well, let me rephrase that. It was bought by someone else and sent to me so that I could review it with the option to trade for something that I have that they want quite a bit. And I'm going to go ahead and make that trade. I didn't think I would at first. And the reason that I didn't think I would at first is I've owned this before. I've had an XM-24. I did not fall in love with it. I moved it on, in fact. But that was the Spanto blade, which is a narrower, less belly blade. It's a thicker blade. This Sheepsfoot, which, by the way, is the whole point of this review, this is the new, or at least re-released Sheepsfoot with the tri-way pivot, is an exceptionally useful large EDC knife. I've just fallen in love with it. This thing does everything I want in the day, from little fine work, right, which I never really do, but it's important to say, to big sweeping cuts. This is a fantastic pocket knife. So the old one that I had, I compared it to this. This is the Formax, the other giant knife that I own. And I told my viewers that I was going to use them equitably for a while and in the end make the choice which one I liked better. And I never actually made the follow-up video because I very rapidly realized that I preferred the Formax to the XM-24 that I had. It wasn't even really a competition. And so I sold off the XM-24. Now, this thing landed with this blade shape, and it's 100% reversed. Everything that I liked about the cutting profile of the Formax, everything that I liked about what it did better than my XM-24, the Sheepsfoot blade chews away all of that variation, and now this is just easier to carry, easier to use. Look, I love this beast, but this is the better knife. Now, to be fair, this one's only about $300 now, but, you know, blade shape matters. It really does. So there you go. For those of you that have been wondering what happened with all that, there's the answer. Originally, the Formax took the victory, but now the new Sheepsfoot edition of the XM-24 absolutely wins. So this one is mine. What am I giving up for it, you might ask? Well, that's none of your business, but thanks for asking. We do the trades we do. Anyway, let's talk about, well, what would you like to talk about? Any questions over there when we carry knives?
What is the handle made of, dear?
It is G10. It is G10 on titanium. It is a titanium liner.
And is it... Oh, see, it's a frame lock.
It is, right?
Yes.
It is a titanium frame lock. It does have a hardened steel insert, which they only started doing on Hinderers a couple of generations ago. Beyond that, it is the tri-way pivot, which is, I mentioned before, which is really nice, which means it comes with bearings in it, but you get a little bag, and in the bag comes phosphor bronze washers and also the plastic, the poly washers.
What about your pocket clip? Is it reversible?
It is reversible.
Oh, so it's a lefty friendly.
No.
No.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean reversible. It's tip to tail switchable.
Okay, so tip up or tip down.
But right, because it's one-sided, it's righty only. Oh, excuse me. One of the things about this, now, if you notice on my XM-18, I've got an MXG deep carry clip, right? On the 24, I actually sort of prefer the stock clip. I don't mind having a little bit of the knife sticking out of the pocket because it's a monster. But of course, I moved it from tip down to tip up, because this is the way I prefer to carry my knives. It is a beast size-wise. Even enclosed, we were talking about over 1.5 inches. Right? I mean, it's just big. Lengthwise closed, we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5, just a little under 5.5 inches overall. The blade length on this monster, you get 1, 2, 3.5 inches of cutting on 4 inches of CPM 20 CV. The grip, we'll do it from behind the choil first, right? From behind the choil, you get 1, 2, 3, 4.5 inches of handle, but because of this really generous choil up here at the front, what you really get is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.75 of handle. It is a very handle-heavy knife. Now, one of the things that took me a long time to get used to when I first got it, or any of Hinderer's straight-up designs, is how much handle he likes to give you for blade length. But in this case, it just gives you so many options and choices and ways to hold this knife that I've actually learned to really like it. To me, it offers a lot of control. And the jimping in all the right and sort of strategic places that Hinderer does lean into that and make it considerably more controllable. I really enjoy this knife. Can you tell?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Well, yeah, I know.
What should we compare it against? Any thoughts?
The bug out.
Oh, right.
It's to your left.
Oh, so we're here. Size-wise, the actual overall length of this knife is something I always forget to do. Let's go ahead and knock it out. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.25 inches long overall. It is a big knife. If we put it back up against the bug out, as you can see, the bug out could live inside the knife. Women Carry Knives has that's a monster. This, of course, is the CJRB Mylea, a Swags design, and a cool little front flipper that literally can just live inside the handle. Yeah, there you go. Right. This is a big knife, but in all the right ways. Let's go ahead and put it up against our old friend, the Rat Model 1. Now, the Rat 1 has, you actually don't get that much more blade, but of course, look, it's just a big knife.
But you have a better handle.
Certainly. Let's do it. Let's compare it against sort of a more budget-friendly version of same. So you can very easily still get, this is the ZT-0562. This is a Hinderer design. It is ZT's sort of version of the XM-18. This is about $280, right? You can get an all-titanium version, or you can get this version with the carbon fiber. I love this particular handle shape. Now, one of the things I used to like better about this was how thin it was. As you can see, it's considerably thinner than even the 18. But over time, I have come to appreciate how thick these handles are. They really work for me. On a vinyl comparison, you used to be able to get kind of a ZT version of the XM-24. This is a modified version of the ZT-0560. This is an aftermarket carbon fiber scale, and of course I've put titanium screws into it. It used to be all black, but as you can see, you used to be able to get a version of this knife from ZT, and unfortunately, you just can't anymore. They just don't make one, which is a bummer. But so if you want one, you're going to have to fork out the actual money. So this is a monstrously thick piece of CPM 20 CV at the blade. Let's take a look. Can we get to the thickest part? At its thickest, right there, it is 4.67 millimeters, almost 5 millimeters thick through the thickest part of the blade. But because it is this nice, deep, it comes down to a nice edge, it is very slicey for a big knife. The handle itself is 14.9 millimeters, or almost 0.6 of an inch, right? Just over, a little bit over half an inch. It is a really thick, beefy knife. We're going to weigh it just for giggles. I love that sound.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't love that sound.
That was terrible.
I love this sound. Oh, it's really good.
See, and it's for small hands. It's hard to flip.
Yeah. I mean, I recognize that. Again, it's not a knife for everybody. And that's okay. Yeah, we're 7.6 ounces. It's a real beast. Let's see. What else do I have that weighs? Let's see. This, of course, is the full-size Artisan Proponent. I think that's going to weigh a little more. Yep, that's 10.9 ounces. So for whatever it's worth, this is heavier than this. Good for that. The funny thing about being a knife collector, and I use a knife in a lot of the work that I do, particularly the property management that I do, is you come to a place where, is it worth it to spend the money on the tools? Is this worth the money? I don't know. I really don't. To your average person who doesn't collect knives and or who has, I don't know, what else can we put on the table? Whatever, is this really worth the upgrade? I don't know. Probably not from a strictly financial perspective. But if you love this and just wish it was a little more, a little fancier, a little more effort put into the build, a little more refined in the fit and finish, just a little more. Well, then your obvious next step, of course, is its little brother, the XM-18. But what if this is a little too small for you? Then in the end, it is worth it to get yourself an XM-24, because you're not going to replace it. You're not going to outdo it. And if you find the blade shape that you like, that works for you, you're not going to beat it with anything else in your collection. At least that's what happened with me. And so that's where we land. This is the new Sheepsfoot version. And when I say new, I mean a re-release of the Sheepsfoot XM-24, but in the new, of course, version with the tri-way pivot. This is just a superb, superior, and stupendous, and that's all the S's I can think of. Oh, stellar knife. I think if you want one, go get one. If you don't want one, it's too much money, it's just a Hinderer, it's whatever, then don't. That's cool too. It's not a big deal. I'm not telling you have to have one. What I am saying is, if you've been thinking about getting one, if you've been wrestling with it, stop. Sell a couple of your knives, do what you got to do. Grab one of these while they're out there. I think you will really enjoy it. I know I have enjoyed having it, and I know that I have decided to keep it. I want to thank the person who was willing to put this in my hands. That is astonishing and really generous. I recognize not everybody has that sort of opportunity. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Hinderer XM-24 Sheepsfoot. I have been a therapeutic edge. I'm pretty sure. Sitting over there laughing at me has been
Women Carry Knives.
And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.